So do you think the rest of the world looks on at Biden and thinks someone else has got to be running the government?
Well, somebody else has to be. I don't think he's capable of doing anything. Look.
What is going on, guys? I hope you're having an amazing day. Now, if you guys don't know, but I'm pretty sure most of you do, Trump made a very smart decision the other day to actually skip the Republican primary debate and go on an interview with Tucker Carlson. I think that was genius, honestly, and let me tell you why. Essentially, all it was Chris Christie, essentially, and it was Mike Pence and all of these other guys pretty much being establishment shills. The only person on that stage to me that had any type of backbone was Vivek Ramaswamy. The only other person that kind of had a backbone in that debate was Ron DeSantis, except he needed approval from other people to actually say anything of note. But all in all, it was a very entertaining debate. Don't get me wrong. My only problem is that a lot of those talking points kind of sounded like Democratic talking points. One subject matter that really stuck out to me was the Ukraine topic. It was crazy how pretty much every single other candidate besides Vivek and Ron DeSantis supported giving more money to Ukraine instead of actually securing our borders, instead of actually giving more money to Americans. So all in all, Vivek won a debate, but the true winner in all of this was Trump. If you truly looked at the debate, you would see that the reason why Vivek won that debate is because pretty much everything he was saying is something that a Trump supporter would agree with. But I digress. Let's get back into the topic. So right here in this video, Trump explains as to why Joe Biden could never run the country, and also as to why a lot of the things on that stage that night, the debate stage, really was strange. Trump actually brings up a very good topic that I forgot even happened during the 2020 debates between him and Biden. Let's get right into it.
When I debated him, I said, how come, and this was in front of probably not a friend of yours, Chris Wallace, he was the moderator.
Not a friend.
I said, why is it? He wants to be Mike, but he doesn't have the talent. It's one of those
bitchy little man.
He wanted to be his father, but he didn't have the talent of his father was great. His father,
little fussy man.
His father interviewed me in 60 Minutes. It was actually a 10. Can you believe it?
No, I totally believe his father had talent, at least.
I may have been the only guy that he gave a good 60 Minutes to. He was rough.
Really?
His father was tough. He was great, though. He was great at what he did. But Chris Wallace was so upset. He was guarding this guy, who wouldn't do a show, by the way. You know, he wouldn't do. I figured. I didn't mind Chris Wallace because Biden wouldn't do a show. And it was very obvious. You know, he kept asking him and asking, but he wouldn't do the show. So I figured he's got to like me. But he came from a different planet. But remember when I asked the question, why is it that the mayor of Moscow's wife is allowed to give you $3.5 million? Don't forget, that was brought up. Now it's brought up all the time. But that was brought up by me long before anyone ever heard of it.
True.
I said, the mayor of Moscow's wife giving you $3.5 million. What did you do to deserve $3.5 million? To Biden. And Chris Wallace said, this has nothing to do with the debate. I mean, he
got in the way of the question.
No, it was crazy. And I said, well, wait a minute. He got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife.
How did that have nothing to do with the debate? The debate is who is worthy of being the president of the United States. We need to know exactly why. Getting that type of money is no small feat. So exactly how did you get that money and what did you do to earn that money? That's what I think Trump is saying right here. Hey, we need to understand as to how you got this money as a politician. You were a politician when you got this money. How did you get it? That's pretty much what Trump is saying, essentially.
Now, people forget that, but if you go back and take a look, you will see. And Chris Wallace didn't want me to ask that question. I said, I think it's a very appropriate question. It turned out to be much more appropriate than people thought.
Amazing. So do you have a preference in, assuming you're the Republican nominee and all goes as you plan it to go, do you have a preference in who you run against?
In many ways, I'd love to run against him because his record's so bad. You know, it's still horrible when you look at inflation and everything else, but others also have very bad records. I mean, California's a bad record, so, you know, should it be Gavin or should it be somebody else? When I look at San Francisco, what's happened to that incredible city. That was one of the greatest cities in the world just a short while ago, and now it's very sad when you look at it. Los Angeles, every city practically, all the Democrat-run cities. You know, Republican-run cities are doing very nicely because they arrest people when you have crimes, and they don't go after political candidates because they think it's good. You know, I mean, it's like been amazing. My poll numbers are the highest I've ever had, but because people understand it.
Can I just ask you, that gets back to my original question. So if the protest didn't work, you got elected anyway. Yeah. Impeachment didn't work twice, obviously. Indictment is not working. your poll numbers go up. When they raided Mar-a-Lago in August of
Yeah.
last year, your numbers went up.
Up.
They can indict you 20 times, and you're not gonna lose the Republican primary because of that.
Well,
So,
it
like,
makes
there-
it look even more ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
the 4 indictments, and maybe there'll be more. I don't know. These people are crazy.
But they're counterproductive. So if you chart it out, it's an escalation.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason as to why any of those indictments even happened in the first place. And I think the people see that. The people see that. So they say, hey, they're indicting him for this, this, and this. Wait, this is pretty much fake. This kind of proves what he's saying this whole time. This is kind of proving what he was saying back in 2020, back in 2021, pretty much all of the time. This is proving that right now. So, we got to really vote this guy back in. That's what they're saying. And as you guys see that mugshot, yo, that mugshot looked so badass. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That mugshot was crazy. That mugshot pretty much made him go even more viral. So you guys are pretty much just doing what? What are you guys doing exactly? Democrats, leftists? There's nothing that you could pretty much do to stop him at this point.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. So what's next after, try to put you in prison for the rest of your life? That's not working. So like, don't they have to kill you now?
I think the people of our country don't get enough credit for how smart they are. And I'm not sure I would have said this 10 years ago, but they get it. They really get it. When somebody gets indicted, your poll numbers go down. When somebody gets indicted, you announce, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be leaving to spend time with my family and to fight for the rest of my life on this stuff. But you're out of politics. I got indicted 4 times.
Yes.
All trivia, nonsense, bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's horrible when you look and you look at what they're doing. The boxes hoax, I'm covered by the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do exactly that. He's not covered, and he's got 25 times the number of boxes, and he's got them stored in Chinatown. He's got them stored in a flimsy garage underneath his Corvette.
That is very true. Biden was never the president of the United States. So how did he get those boxes? That's, oh, wow. Well, now he is. But I'm saying, like, at first he wasn't when apparently he had these boxes in the first place. So very good point. But all in all, I'm not going to watch the whole entire interview, guys. If you guys want to watch the whole entire interview, I'm pretty sure it's on Tucker Carlson's Twitter, or AKA X now. That's what it's called now. It was formerly known as Twitter. Now it's called X. That's pretty much where it is, guys. But with that being said, to me, I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I thought was interesting about the interview. I've seen a lot of other interesting things, except I got to like cut that up, go through them, actually, see if it's even safe for YouTube because, Epstein and stuff, all of that. Oop, can't even say that name on there. Like, can't even say that name on here pretty much. Except with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Peace.